Welcome, ladies. I am so excited to be introducing all of you to Amy Killick and Chelsea Conrad. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Chelsea is one of my three sisters, and so of course I don't need an introduction to her, but I definitely know probably too much about her. Um, but she will share a little bit about herself and answer just a few questions that I have for her so that all of you can get to know her and a little bit more about why she's here, how it's been going, and what she's looking forward to. Amy joined us, and we all have yet to even meet in person, but it certainly feels like we've known each other forever. So, thank you, ladies, so much for joining. I can't wait for everyone to get to know you a little bit more. Chelsea, why don't we start with you? Do you want to share just a few things about yourself? Obviously, everyone knows we're sisters, but a few things about yourself and then the favorite product that you chose to share and why it's your fave.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Trish. Hello, everybody. My name's Chelsea, and as you said, I'm the youngest sister. There's a few more. I live in a rural community just outside of Calgary, Alberta. It's called Springbank. I have three young kiddos under the age of 10, and my husband is a engineer, an oil and gas engineer. So I used to work corporate life 10 years ago and decided to stay home with my babies and picked up old Beautycounter on the side, and it's been 5 years now. Can you believe it? So it's been really cool to be a part of the brand for the last 5 years because I've had the exposure to all the amazing products that they've formulated and have been able to bring show the world what clean beauty is all about. So my favorite product, and I think it came out, it's about 3 years old now, and it was quite revolutionary, especially for someone like me and my skin type. I have active skin. I'm also combating some just like anti-aging, but I also have hormonal breakouts. So this is the overnight resurfacing peel. And what I love about it is that I literally put this on at night and I go to bed. And I wake up looking like I had 10 hours of sleep and that I do not have three kids waking me up. And the fact that I can use a product at home and I don't need to, book an appointment and try and schedule time with my husband to watch the kids, to go to, skincare appointments, that I can literally use this at nighttime. It's like a dream come true.
Awesome. I think it's also a favorite in the Beautycounter world. It is one of our hero products and definitely a popular one amongst consultants and clients too. AK, Amy Killick, tell us
Hey.
a bit about yourself and your fave.
Well, um, I joined Beautycounter in January 2020. I'm a home business owner, like in the beauty industry. And I also have three kids. I'm a former teacher and a bereavement doula. So yeah, I brought my favorite product as well, and it's new, but I have the Christmas holiday set size jar with me today. It's the AHA smoothing facial mask, and similar to the same reasons that Chelsea loves her peel, I find this just like packs a pretty big punch in terms of just smoothing out my skin surface, brightening it. It just feels so good. And like Chelsea was saying, like when you're a busy parent and you're working, it is really tough to squeeze in those like self-care appointments or just to remember to make time for yourself. So it's great that I can just pull this off my shelf, throw it on, and still feel like I've had a bit of a treat for myself. So
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And it's cool that each of you brought kind of our peel products. I'm actually calling that AHA mask more of a at-home chemical peel because it really packs a lot of punch. And I think that's one of the cool things about Beautycounter and the clean brand that it is it's not, safer doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't pack potent ingredients. These ingredients are really highly effective. And also safer, which is what we're going for here.
yep.
So let's start with Chelsey, and what drew you to the Beautycounter brand? I mean, this is 5 years ago, 6 years ago almost, because it was actually you that introduced me to the Beautycounter brand. I just happened to join first because you landed into pregnancy mode. So what was it? Beautycounter? Let's hear it.
Oh, our story. It's so much fun to tell. It really is, because I think it's a true story of you and I. We're sisters. We're so similar. And for years, I know we get along so well. And I know for a long time, we've always thought, oh, it'd be so cool to do something, to be able to spend more time together on something. And lo and behold, I think we've kind of nailed it and found it. So yeah, it's been 5 years. I know you and I went to the launch of Beautycounter in Canada, and yeah, I dragged us down for a glass of white wine. That was my last glass of white wine.
It was really our motivation. It was like, okay, our kids are little. I think my 3 were under 3, and your 2 were under 3, and then found out just after. But yeah, it was for that glass of wine. But what was it that had you even have me go to this?
I don't know, to be honest. Well, you know me. I'm a product junkie. Like I've always loved stuff. I've always loved going to the department store, especially when I worked downtown Calgary. I'd go on a weekly basis. That's just what you did. And you'd buy new perfume or new lipstick. I don't know, and I always assumed that these products, like, yeah, I paid good money for them, and assuming that the ingredients were safe for my health. They worked really well. And like you said, and that's when I learned about those two things merging together. And this concept, I know, was new to you. And your background as a registered nurse and being in cosmetic dermatology. And that night when we went and they presented that information of safer and higher performing put together and gave us some statistics about how underregulated the cosmetics industry really is, I just saw a light bulb go off for you. And in that moment, I remember thinking, okay, I think this is something really interesting. And so a few weeks later, I know you got in touch with some of the gals that who are our business partners in Beautycounter, and you just decided to go for it. You were ready, I think, and I think the main thing was the products, and it really is for all of us. I think you go for the products and you stay for. There's so many other things, and for me, I started off with the products. I went for the discount. I mean, it was a no-brainer. Like, you just taught me some of the ingredient transparency points, the education, and and then you taught me that saying, once you learn, you can't unlearn. It's just like all the things. And of course, the products came straight to our door. You and I had kids under the age of 5. We weren't getting out. I mean, we just weren't. And so it just was like the perfect situation. And then I think after I had the gift of being able to be the fly on the wall, there was zero pressure from you always. You knew I loved the products. You knew I loved what the brand spoke for. And I would just totally come with you just to get out of the house. And then
an integral part to the community, even though you weren't an active consultant, you were a consultant, and you were drawn to that community right from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole point, is I think you can really enjoy everything that the brand speaks for on your level, right? And how it fits into your life. And you always said that. It has to just come into your life and fit into it, and you'll find the way that it fits in. So, yeah.
I love that. Amy, I know your story is quite different in that, it was almost pandemic time when you were introduced to the brand, and it was through a friend of a friend's pop-up. So one of these pop-ups that we host for our clients, and one of Chelsea's clients was a friend of yours. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your story, and more specifically, what was it that had you say yes to the consultant opportunity after you were introduced to the brand?
So, Chelsea, I think it was like August, September. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Of 2019. Yeah. Where I attended a mutual friend's pop-up. I didn't know Chelsea. I still have never met Chelsea or Trisha in person,
So
but we
crazy.
talk every day. We're like built-in best friends now. So yeah, I attended the pop-up. I'm a bit of a makeup junkie myself. At the time, I wasn't super concerned with what I was putting on my skin. I was more focused on my kids. And I don't know what it was, but like that following January, we were like in the middle of like a blizzard, and I ran out of my favorite moisturizer. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm buying my kids like all of this higher end, like expensive body wash and bubble bath and whatever to make sure that they're covered. Like, I should probably start changing how I do things. And so Chelsea had connected with me a few times since our friend's pop up. And each time it was like, no, no, no. Like, I didn't even buy anything at the pop up because I didn't need anything at the time. And I kept saying like, no, not right now, but thank you. Like, she was so friendly. And I loved that because she was so friendly and approachable, but not scripted and annoying. It was super easy for me. I reached out to Chelsea, actually. Like, I think I probably caught you off guard, Chelsea. Like, hey, tell me about your moisturizer, even though you probably haven't heard from me in a few months, because I need one.
I was tenacious. I know there's something about you. There was something about you. I kept going.
I don't know, because I was very like swearing off, like, nope, can't take on more right now. No way. And it was just like, I don't know what it was. Anyway, I signed up for the discount on the products that Chelsea was telling me about. And then when the pandemic hit a few months later, my home business had to close. Like, it was illegal for me to operate. And there was nothing else that I could see myself doing like out in the world that was fitting for me at the time. So I just leaned into Beautycounter, and it took off, much to my surprise. I think I had a lot of assumptions made about direct sales businesses, that they don't work, that they're just kind of like an elevated money making thing for the company. It has not been that way, and it's been a life changer for my family and I. And I'm so grateful that I was in that Facebook group to even like come across Chelsea, and that we did keep in touch the way we did, because my life would look, I think, a lot different right now had I not reached out to Chelsea, had she not been so approachable as well, for me to feel like I could reach out to her and say yes to the opportunity. So
I feel like you have both in those last two questions answered my third question, which is what you've gained during your time in Beautycounter. If you could phrase it into one or two words, what would you say, Chelsea? What have you gained?
Purpose. Purpose, just outside of everything that I've always wanted to be, which is a mother. And yeah, it just another sense of purpose that'll leave a legacy, really.
Yeah.
Amy?
So much. Like, connection, community, confidence. Like, I've learned how to be a better business person, the way I think about business, the way I think about direct sales. All of those assumptions that I had prior to Beautycounter went out the window, and it was at a really friendly pace that I could pick. It's just been such an inspiring journey. Sorry, that was way too many words, but
I love it.
I'm being honest.
I'm usually the one blabbering on, so I'm happy to listen. Okay, last question, and I would love for both of you to answer this one. Chelsea, when you think of your future with Beautycounter, what is it that puts a smile on your face? What thought comes to mind?
Oh my goodness. Sorry, my phone. Lifelong relationships, and like true, just really loving this phase of, and like it's so insane that I have not yet been able to meet Amy, but it's a true cover story of being able to just plug into this business platform, and it's amazing what it can bring to the table. So I'm excited to see in like 10 years. There are so many people that I meet that are so interesting and have such different backgrounds than me that I'm pretty excited for that.
I love it. Amy, what puts a smile on your face? What thought about your future with Beautycounter?
I think just the fact that like we've cracked open so many friendships that we wouldn't have had we not had this opportunity to connect over our love for safer ingredients for us and our families. And then also, I really like that my girls, and eventually my son, are becoming very aware and hesitate before using a product to make sure that it is actually safe. And they understand when I do say no to some things that they would like when we're out and about. And so they are becoming more conscientious consumers as well. And I think that's a really important trait that will help shape their future.
Oh, love it. Goosebumps. On that note, say goodbye. And thank you so much for joining me tonight, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.